Hello, comrades. It's Premier River, and I am once again looking down on the city of Rivergrad in all of its splendor. It is neat just sometimes to watch your city play and go, but I got some good suggestions over the past days. I know I'm ahead in many times. I'm really trying not to play enough to let my videos catch up, so I'm not so far ahead of your guys' comments, because Mikai Carlson gave me a good idea of something to check, and I want to see if we look at these on our farm. We don't have any grain to speak of. You know, we're just using up every single bit that we have. And he suggested, well, make sure that the fields don't have a lot of stuff on them. And that one doesn't have any, even though it's in the middle of the harvest, the guy's on it. I guess that makes sense. So I guess the ones we'd be concerned about are the ones that were just harvested. And if you look, there's nothing on that one. This one's just being sown. There's nothing there. You know, the ones that are, you know, here we'll just, this one has some, but it's just in the middle of being harvested, and just because the truck's not out there at this moment, I don't think that's a problem. This one, yeah, see, all the ones that have been harvested and are being sown, it looks like we have, and this one just got started a second ago, so there's probably just not a truck there. We do have a little bit of a traffic jam going on here. Why is that? No, this is a little traffic jammy, I've noticed. You know, there's a certain limit to how many trucks get in. Yeah, this truck was doing something. Sometimes when they go to get gas, they park up and they don't just leave. They go into this first, and see, like they need to go over there before they, and meanwhile these guys wait. It's one of the things when I first started recording, I said, well, there's some improvements, some like little annoyances, like why does this guy need to wait so much? Like, see what I mean? Like that, why doesn't that guy just leave? You know, why does he have to go over here first? But I guess it's a mechanic of, you know, they're waiting for their next assignment. So instead of getting their assignment when they're unloading, they don't get their assignment until they're over here. So, and this guy's running back and forth diligently doing that. So I think, and I thought about this regardless of whether this, I mean, even if I was getting all of it off, I might still have a backup, right, if I had stuff on the field. But I think what's going on here is that we are exporting all of our alcohol and from a distillery here, and we're also exporting everything from here, other than what we're filling up into this warehouse. So in other words, I'm dropping stuff. I have the truck set up to drop off in this warehouse and then export. I don't want to mess with that too much just now. So there we go. So like everything just comes right over here and gets exported. And then in addition to that, I think we've got decent numbers of people in here all the time. So I think when we max out how much clothing we're making, we're using effectively corn to make the clothing, and we're exporting all of that. So I think the problem is I'm just trying to export too much. And if I wasn't in the middle of, let's go all the way back out to here. If I wasn't in the middle of building what I'm calling farming ski. Oh, look, we got another town name over here. How about we call this field ski? Because it will kind of match, right? Oops. There we go. Oh, except I don't have an L in there. Yeah, you have to type slowly. It doesn't like fast typing. Not that I'm a fast typer, but there we go. I'm not sure if that'll name things well, but let's see. Oh, look, we got another one, Primo, over here, huh? Let's call this the Highlands. Oops, missed. Yeah, I think my ability to name things, being an American, even of Slavic descent, Polish descent, it doesn't help me very much with actually naming things in a way that sounds like they're Russian and or Eastern European, so sorry guys. We'll have a couple names that are Americanized. How's that sound? Anyway. So yeah, if we weren't in the middle of this, then I think I would be more inclined to, fix that and spend more effort, which I do want to do. And then another suggestion I got from John Personage, I hope I'm saying your guys' names right, is to specialize towns, and I absolutely agree with him. And he's a few episodes behind me, and I would like him to know that his suggestion was worth a lot. And I absolutely plan on, this will be like kind of farming ski. I think we'll see how much food we can produce, but it might even be a better name to call it food ski. Maybe that's farming ski over here, where on the back side of this town or the north side of this town, I want to put, as we put people in, I want to put a food factory here and maybe even more than one food factory, and have a train station that comes out of here. Right now we have this cargo train station. I'm not sure if we put more food factories, how we would link to that too well, but we'll have a road to it so we can always drive trucks. This one will be attached, but if I have to put more... Well, do we have a road connection? No, I have to remember to get a road connection in there, though. But right here, anyway, we'll have, food. So we might even have more than one food factory. Also, let's see how that balances out with this number of farms. But my big goal is to get food to all the towns via train, or at least close to each town. And maybe we might... One of the reasons I called this Gateway Love is I picture having like a distribution center potentially of trains like over in this area, so where trains might come in, drop off here from the food area, and then either by truck or train we would take more food out, because I don't know if that makes sense. But then the other question is, one of the other questions I have is, do we keep our clothing factory here? I'm really kind of tempted to knock these down and just start where... In other words, I'm blocking where I'd really want to put trains. So I'm thinking, even though it'll be painful for me to knock buildings down, something I've rarely done, I like to think I can plan ahead well. It wasn't very smart to put these here. But at the time, we really needed the money from something. And having to buy the chemicals, yeah, you get the idea. That would be a ways off anyhow. There's a lot of other train work, and we're talking episodes before I'd worry about that. So anyway, let's get up here. And one of the reasons I came in now is, look, I have a house with no one who lives in it. But that's a momentous occasion, because I think these guys aren't assigned to anything at the moment. I think we can come up here, and I actually got bus stops too, if you look, and I can say, hey, get your workers from here. Now, the first thing I want to do is probably get this town going more fully. At least get these guys to work on the pub. And hopefully we don't get... Where is the pub? Yeah, there's the pub. Let me even get the road going for the pub. But yeah, it's been very painful. Like, I don't think... Oh, shoot. It says build with rubles. I didn't mean to do that. I do that every time I start the game new. I really wish they would take that off. And then the same thing here with, like, if I plant down more houses, like I end up buying people, and I end up, that's where I go back to the auto start, because, I mean, now the money's not so bad, but I really wish they would just remember that I don't want get citizens. I don't want to auto buy with rubles every time I restart, start up the game fresh. So there we go. So what should they work on first? The other side of it is, I got my bus stop here, and I really want to get my cement and asphalt plant going, and even this new gravel. Though I'm not too worried about the gravel, because I do have this one here. But if I can get these working, in order to get those working, I need to get this gravel going. So then the other thought is, do I get more people up here as a little bit higher priority? And I think that's what I'd like to do. I think I would like to get this town better situated, even though it'll be painful with having to drive all the way back to get asphalt and cement. So let's go ahead and assign something to them. Why don't we assign them to work on the pub? So now they'll go do that. And then they're going to say, well, we don't have any workers. So let's get our line up right. And we'll get all the way back. And I think we have tons of workers. So if some of these people escape because they're not too happy, really rather a house that didn't have so many of the educated people yet. Or university educated. So I want to pretty much take everybody out of this house and dump them into here. And I don't think they're going to be very happy people, but and house is full. If you look at our population, we have, this will go down to fill up that house, but we have 500 and some people that are over 21 living with their parents. So now that that's going, hopefully that'll speed up the process a good amount of getting construction done up there. And then over here, what I've been doing, just to let you guys know, is repaving. So I've just been taking a chunk of town at a time, and without trying to disturb them too much. Let's move this over a little bit. Is in town here, I've been putting these roads with the lampposts. And then I come here and just do that section. Nothing too exciting. And then over here, what we've been doing is this one. Yep, we got another house built here. So that was already been built. And by the way, this town has been jammed up with people too. So the last couple houses I built, if you look here, this has got 62 in it already. If I did anything, I just moved them from there to here kind of thing. So when it comes to this, yep. Now the other thing to keep it, so this house, the one I'm clicked on here, that's just filling up on its own. Well, that's a worker site. So once I get this, the overcrowding in this town handled a little bit, but I've got a bunch more houses to build here, so I'm just clicking on them. And a lot of times when they get done the first stage, which this one is done, this one's almost done construction, I'll give them another stage there, or give them another one to do. There you go. Have at it, boys, girls, whoever's working on it. And I have a few more houses I want to build over here. So we still have a good amount of population to get into this town to really, try to get our stuff going well. One of the questions I had is, am I making enough oil? No. Well, oil doesn't take people. Not that it matters. But let's talk about oil. That's not oil. This is oil. Zoom in so I can see which way this guy would face. Yeah, I don't want it, we want it in a decent spot. We don't want to overlap him with the other guy too much, but I want to take advantage of everything. And that's sort of not going to be the world's greatest oil rig, but I think it'll cover that corner of the world pretty well. There we go. Now let's go get him a road so we can build this thing. Now I'd like to sort of avoid any more road connections over there. I'm not sure that it matters. If I go across here from there, I guess I can come from here, or is that pole in the way? No. Yeah, see, I can come out here. And I don't think that doesn't add another road node that's annoying to the game. Delete a little tiny bit, which was kind of more than I wanted to delete. Can I crap around there? No, of course not. Now it's back to where it was before. No, that's not. I think that's better, isn't it? And then I'm just going to leave this like that. And there we go. So that guy's connected. Now he definitely should be connected by power here. Oh, look at that. Yeah. Electrical voltage issues. I don't think I think what might be happening here is, but see, what I don't understand about this is like that thing's flashing away, but when I go around and look at how much power is actually being used, it's not nearly, it doesn't seem like it's nearly as much as would be sucking away. Like this is 0.35 on that. Like, and there's really, well, I guess I do have a fair amount on that one medium. Yeah, because that one medium line is doing all the way over here too, isn't it? So maybe I just have too much on one medium pole. We'll see. I'll get into it at some point. And then let's do, not roads, but pipeline. And we'll just connect this guy right straight up like that. And that should work without too many more issues. And even though these guys have, oh look, we got another house going, right? Yeah. So I don't think anybody will come into here. So let's real quick go grab. There we go. So we got plenty of people we can take out of here. So that should help with this number. Yeah, we're down to 470. How are we doing on the overall? Last month, this month. Yeah, 16. So we do have people escaping. Anyway. Not too many. When we got 16 out of however many we had. So yeah, we're going to get this guy working on this. You know what? And I need to commit to that other thing, don't I? There we go. Commit to that. And then I close this for some dumb reason. There you go. So they should be able to do that and that. Now the other thing is I've got a lot of steel. At some point I need to, I've just been dropping off all the steel up here. And I've got 524. So we should be in good shape. If there's a positive side to having to wait for all this like asphalt and everything else to be drug up here, it's that my steel build up in the meantime. And you can see our money's doing great. We're in pretty good shape at that point. So now the other thing I don't have going too well is the gravel, but we do have a gravel truck. Oh, that's a steel one. We do have a gravel guy going all the way back and getting us gravel. So definitely be interested in getting this train thing going for getting gravel up here. I think that'll be a far more efficient way of doing it. So there we go. We are in business. I think I'm going to, you know, cut the video here and just keep plugging away. I'll probably, well, can even maybe, yeah, I think I'm going to want to build this road. Oh, I got that asphalt, don't I? Yeah, that will be a nice asphalt road. Yeah, so I think I'm going to get this going, and then we could start asphalting some of these roads that I haven't built yet, right? Like I just did these in gravel because I wanted to get them on the go, you know, so we can get some people up here. But yeah, they're not very happy people. They don't have much, so I think I'll, you know, get another house maybe so we can get a few more people up here. But at least we're not having to drive all the way back now to get people for our construction site. But we do have to sit here and wait for concrete and asphalt on almost every single thing we build. And like building the cinema there, I mean, that just needs a ton of concrete, or a good amount of concrete. Well, it needs tons. Yeah, literally. Okay, well, let me keep plugging away, and I'll come back when we're probably a little bit ready to get the bakery going. I mean, maybe when we have the farms up. That'll be once town gets settled, and once I have, you know, this area going, I'm going to become able to do construction in this general region a lot better. And that's when I'll start doing the actual farms. Because again, if we look, let's just take a look. Last month, no, not population, this one. Imports from the Western countries, food, 30, that's this month. Last month gives us 99,000. So when we look at all of our expenses, you know, meat and food far and away, like our most expensive things to buy. So I think this will greatly cut down. You wouldn't think it, but I think because I don't have much of a distribution, this is definitely going to be worth going after. So, and here's another question. How much we're selling? Is it worth still selling the clothing? So this is export to Western countries. Look, we only made $48,000 for the clothes, $18,000 for the alcohol, and meat is the other thing we're exporting. So that's, you know, I don't know, it's really kind of barely worth exporting those things because the amount of we're paying in food. Like, would we be better off just taking those crops that we have down there and, you know, just distributing them to our people instead of trying to make clothing? But this is going to solve all those problems. So since our money's still generally going up, I'm not going to sweat it too much, and then we'll get a whole food distribution network going pretty shortly. All right, I will talk to you guys in a minute. Okay, I finally have a town. It took quite a while, probably too long in some ways, because every time we had to, in a sense, drag a lot of the materials from down there, certainly dragging all the people. I wanted to point out that while I was dragging all the people, let's go to, last month, I guess. And let's do last year. We had a rash of escapes. So every time I tried to put people in here, they would just escape because they weren't very happy because they only had these two things. So now we have all of these things built, which is kind of wonderful. I'm building another house right now. That's what these guys are working on. So we should at least have 4 houses up here that we can get things going. But I paused the game because another thing, if we come over to our economy, I talked about it before, but I've been thinking about it even more. If we go to last month, you know, we lost money. And if we come in here and we take a look at what we're spending money on, this food is just killing us. And we only exported $33,000 in clothing, which, hey, I mean, that's a good chunk of our income. Or I'm sorry, what was this? Actually, it cost us $33,000 for clothing. How much do we export in clothing? 54. So I think, you know, when you look at, we're making money on some other things, but we're also spending a lot of money on those same things. So I wanted to take a minute to see about setting up, I think it's, at first I didn't do this because we didn't have the fuel, or the fuel cost would have been high. But like this one is buying food. And there's really not a particular reason I couldn't run a food truck up here now, except for the fact that I've really kind of prioritized this probably wrong. And so what we have is, we should have a truck that sits in the back of here and drives stuff over to here. Yep. So what I want to do with him is change him and his course. If we come, I don't want him to go there. I want him to go here first. Let's see. Can we just add, or we'll just have to maybe redo this. All right. So that's, I want him to go to the farm grain storage. And then instead of going to this warehouse, I want him to go to the grain store. And then if he has anything, well, he'll go here anyway. So he'll waste some fuel, most likely. So let me delete. What is he doing right now? Does he have, no, there's nothing in him, so he's, yeah, let's close that. Delete that. So now he's going to go and load up corn, or I'm sorry, I keep calling it corn because it's a little symbol of corn, but crops. And then he's going to go to, so that's the farm grain storage, right? Yep, make sure I got it right. And then he's going to go to here and drop off whatever he can, unload. Don't wait. And then unload at the warehouse. So in other words, we're basically going to cut off our clothing industry. And I think he's the only one. Thank you, save. I think he's the only one that's doing this. So there we go. So this way, we're going to guarantee that we always have this thing pretty much full. Alright, so I don't think I have to start him or anything. I just have to send him to this one next, I think. Just so he doesn't waste a little time. He'd get back in cycle. Alright, like I said, I think he's the only one going over there, if I'm remembering right. It's been quite a while. They usually go around this way when they go. That's an open haul, so that's not him. Alright, now, the other thing we have is, let's take a look at this warehouse. Yeah, not a huge amount of food being stored in the warehouse, is there? And at this point, I think what I want to do is, this guy, who I think is the only one, at this moment, I want to stop him. I want to stop him from going to the export. Right, so he should be delivering food to those things. He'll wait for a full load, but then he'll come right back after he puts some food in this warehouse. So any food that Revergrad doesn't need, he'll put in the warehouse. And I think he's the only one that does that. And then our alcohol guy, I want to do the same thing. So instead of going to the custom house, he's just going to come back here and wait for delivery. Now we can get two guys in here without causing any problems. And we'll keep an eye. This guy's just running grain back and forth. So what I want to do now, I think, is if we don't have one available, which I don't see right here, so let's go ahead and buy a new vehicle, or a few new vehicles. Some of the reason I didn't do this because we didn't have much money at this point. If you remember, in the series, we had like no rubles. So let's just take care of this, because we can always use these. Even if we get trains down the road, we still need a system, and we'll still use these trucks. So covered haul. This guy does how much? 7.2 crops, 12 crops. Yeah, I think let's do more than less. Anybody else? See, I don't know if there's a huge argument to not use the big ones, unless you're maybe just doing small deliveries in town. But so I want one that could just take food back and forth to Energenisk, and then I want another one that can take food back and forth to Kamengrad, or Kamen, whatever I've got it called nowadays. And then I want another one that can take food to our new town, Farminski. Alright, so let's get all these open. Let's put them off to the side. Doesn't matter which one does which, but they'll all go to... Should they wait here? They're going to jam this up, but that's okay for now. Well, now, one of them can... Let's say that, you know, right now the biggest town is Energenisk besides this one. So this guy can go here, and then he'll go... Yeah, I guess he can go to the store first, and then he can go to the grocery store. And, yeah, load crops. Well, he could do alcohol too, huh? Let's just see how it goes with him doing the one thing. But it would make sense that while he's up here, he dropped alcohol off as well. So I don't want to get them all stupid about the whole thing. maybe we just do one truck that does a... I don't think they use as much alcohol. So that's unload. Unload. Oh, I have them doing corn, don't I? Now at this point, I'll just have them keep going around in circles. Right? Alright, so that kind of made his screen bigger. Is there a way to close these? No, I guess not. No. Alright, so that guy, I guess we could just have him get started, right? I don't want to start everybody at once because then they're going to be... you know, they're not going to have any food there anyway until this process gets rolling a little bit. So good. So that guy's going, and he's going to go up and take care of there. And we'll just close him and hope for the best. We'll have to keep an eye on this. And then we'll do the same thing. Well, not the same thing. This guy will go to the warehouse. And then he'll come up to... you know what, that other guy, I definitely wanted him to... Yeah, he'll just go back and forth between here and here. Do I want these guys to wait? Yeah, I pretty much do, even though I have a feeling that's going to turn into a bit of a cluster. Well, especially around this warehouse. Nah, you know what? You're just going to have to drive back and forth and hope when you get there you got food to pick up. But there should be like 45,000 in there, so hopefully that works out. You know what, this guy could wait here to make sure he drops off because he doesn't have any other stops at this point, right? Good. Okay, so then the last guy... Yeah, so we might as well just start everybody. Alright, so let's go back. I probably should have selected this while I was down here. And he'll go to the warehouse, and then he'll take food all the way out to here. Unload food. Alright, I hope I didn't make too many grievous mistakes. Grievous? Yeah, that's the word. Alright, we'll start this guy. Alright, so we'll still be buying food because, you know, they're still saying, okay, I need food. But at least this way we'll have a guy going back and forth and dropping food off. And this guy will keep making a cycle. That's right. Let's go back to here and find that first one. And I want him to wait at this point. So he's going to be waiting at the food factory until he gets a full load. Now the other thing that we have is the meat. Where's the beef? If you're old enough, you actually remember when that commercial came out. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then you're not old enough. Yeah, at least not to remember that commercial, you're not old enough. Yeah, so this guy's going to be doing meat, and instead of exporting meat, I don't know how much meat we're actually making. How much are we exporting? Export would be the Western countries. Last month. Yeah, we're exporting meat. Doesn't seem like a huge amount, but I don't know that they eat a huge amount either, so let's see if he can't. I don't know how well he's going to cover it all. Right, so we'll get another refrigerated truck, but let's have him. You know what, if we're going to get another truck, let's have him just come out to here and drop off. Oops. Say plus. Yeah, so he's going to unload. He's not going to wait. He's just going to wait to get filled up. All right, and so now let's see. We might even have more options. Yeah, 2 tons, 6.5, 8. Yeah, the red one is better than the white one. Okay, so now this guy, let's see, how many, hopefully we have more than one parking space in this slaughterhouse. Otherwise, we'll just leave the slaughterhouse. Where is the parking spaces? Oh, good, we got 2. Alright, so this guy is going to go from our slaughterhouse. Oops, again, there we go. So he's going to go from the slaughterhouse, and he's going to come over here and go to there and there. And then whatever he has left over, just because I don't feel like buying another truck right this minute, he's going to come up to here. And then we just have to make sure that he's doing what he needs to do at each stop. And on this stop, he's going to wait until he's full at the slaughterhouse. So he can start. Alright, so that should at least, I mean, that should pretty much stop us from exporting any food. Now, the other thing that we have is alcohol. Now, I don't know how to tell how much alcohol we're actually consuming. How much did we export last month? Some. I don't know if it's enough, but why don't we just see with this guy. Yeah, so don't go to the where export anymore. Now this is going to hurt our exports, I think. But what I want to do, so he's going to the 2 pubs that we have here. One here, and where's the other pub? I know Rivergrad had 2 pubs. It's been so long. Oh, is that? No, that's the store. Oh, there it is. Okay, anyway, so there's Rivergrad's 2 pubs. When he gets done dropping off there, I just want him to come by. I think I only have 1 pub out here. That's it right there, yep. And then he's going to go by this pub. He'll be like the beer dude. And then he'll go by... we might end up with either 2 trucks or... We'll just see how this goes. It seems like it's going to not go that well, if I'm honest. Which I always try to be honest. If I'm honest with myself is what I mean. Not that I would be dishonest with you guys about it. But even nice to that if it's assume these settings, huh? All right, well, we'll see how that goes. You know, we'll have to keep an eye on it, which may or may not actually happen. So there we go. I feel like that, you know, we'll still get crops over to here to our clothing, but only after we've made food and alcohol now. Right? And then is there anything else, just thinking about it real quick before we go off to plan C or whatever other plan we're on? No, I mean, this is what we exported, right? We don't really want that. We care about what did we have to import. Yeah, we're not making any of those things. I mean, why did we import so much clothing? But I think we were, if you think about it, we were selling the clothing for more than we were purchasing it, but it still may make sense at some point to have a truck that actually delivers the clothing to people, you know? Yeah, so like this guy, well, let's just leave that alone. We've done enough to keep track of, I think, and it's the food, but we definitely need to do that, but we've done enough, I think, to do that. So anyway, let's go back to what we were doing. And I think the next thing to do is to get this food thing, you know, humming up here. Because even having done that, we've either cut down on the amount of clothing we're exporting, or we've still don't have enough food. So even as that gets going, I would like to come here and get more of this done. I did add in between the segments a construction office here and a gas station, which every time I put down a construction office. And another thing I thought of that we definitely need up here, I didn't put it down yet, not a bus platform, fire station. Let's see about, we want the fire station close enough that it can pick up workers. I don't know if it's going to pick up workers from there, but I will build houses. Well, you know what, we could put it like here, right? No, I don't want to put it right there. Let's put it close to the gas station. There we go. Why didn't it build a road there? I don't like when it doesn't build the road. Let's make sure that'll work. Just goofy. Alright, there we go. So now we'll have another construction thing up here, I think. In part because, you know, like at some point there's just going to be a lot going on up here as far as that goes. I'm also hoping that the difference in the distance, which isn't that great, will let me get these fields done. If you look, I really don't need a huge amount to get this field in. And I was hoping to be able to put a field like right up here, even though that's a bit extreme. But then, see, I really didn't need... I mean, I got all the way out to here leveled, which is almost far enough. So I think with that guy being closer, I'll be able to get those fields in and then go from there. So I think I'm going to call it an episode here. It's kind of been long enough, I think. And what we'll do is, let's just set this last thing down. Wireframe, just to make sure we're not doing anything. Yeah, let me come here. Can we kind of... Oh, I need a free excavator. Okay. Well, I will put a road over down into here and start working on getting this built. And I think... Let's turn off this wireframe again. I think the thing that I would like to do, and one of the things I noticed and was irritating me, is I got a lot of construction vehicles and a fair amount of money. What do you got a question mark for? Oh, because you're sitting there. No, where are you going? The steel mill. Oh, am I doing something to the steel mill? I know I was paving it at one point. Oh. No, why are you got a question mark? Well, here, let's play time. I think we can... Was it just a temporary question mark you had, or... So you wanted to go up to here, open storage. Okay, we'll go for it, buddy. I don't think I blocked you in any way, did I? You're full of fuel. You're not full of steel, so yeah, you want to go to the steel mill. Were you just temporary? No. So this guy... That guy's question mark for... Oh, you're building the flats. Did I mess up the roads or something? I mean, I did redo the roads, but I don't see why you couldn't... Let's see, if we send them to this next... And I have been working on the roads, but I don't think I haven't done it recently, so I don't know why he would have had that question. This guy, was this another one? Maybe they got locked up. Let's do this. Get them going again. So he doesn't have the question mark, because that's this one. There he goes. He got rid of his question mark. Now let's send him back to this guy. Now let's do the same thing for this guy, since there's no sense in him running. Okay. Yeah, they might have got confused. And there should be another one floating around someplace that's... Might have happened when I was doing the road construction, or, you know, repaving it. Well, I'll look for the other guy. There was 3. And the other thing that I may need to do, I know I almost said goodbye, didn't I? Is make sure we have enough gravel up here, because this is still a good amount of road paving I have in mind. So I may I may go and grab these guys. I know there's some people down here that might be available. Like, see, this guy's available. And I could tell him, look, why don't, instead of sitting there doing nothing, why don't you come up here, go to there. That's the cement plant. I don't want you to go to the cement plant. I want you to go to here. And then to here. Oop. And then I just did that, so it means I have to go all the way back down there. Find him again. There you go. Delete this. Good. So I may gather up some other dump trucks if I need to keep those guys up there in gravel. And I think when we come back, what I was starting to get at, and I think I never finished my sentence almost, is I'm really thinking of getting the trains going next episode. So I think I may even do a little bit of layout, and I would, you know, here's what I'm thinking. And again, I know I said half goodbye. If we come here and look at, we could just plop these down for half a second, like build a regular railway, right? And then we'll do one of these railways, and then we'll do one of these railways. Oh, let's commit to them, sort of. We can always delete them. So this guy's going to need gravel, boards, and steel, and this is the basic railroad, right? This guy's going to need prefabs, gravel, and steel. And this guy is going to need the same thing, prefabs and electrical components. Well, that's going to be awful expensive. If we look at the price of electrical components, and this little stretch, by the way, is like 0.3, right? So I'm assuming, look, that's like nothing, right? And it needs like 1/3 of a ton. So there's electrical components are like 8,000. So I don't think we're going to build an electrified track until we have, you know, ability to make our own electrical components. But what I would like to do is, with that in mind, start laying out a construction thing. So again, what we're going to mainly need to get our rails built is gravel, prefab panels, and steel. Let me just get rid of these because they'll be an eyesore on the landscape if I don't. What I'd like to do is, I mean, we have two of those three things right here. Right? Now, there may be other need for other things in the future, but if we went to plop this thing down, like, we might be able to get the gravel in there, and I don't know, it might even be cool if you could attach that thing like this. I don't know if it's worth it. Or do we put a storage yard for the prefab panels? See, then we couldn't, where this storage yard is, we couldn't really get the gravel there, I don't think, too easily. So anyway, I might lay out where we put this little thing, and maybe I'll even start building it, but I'm thinking of putting it up in this area, and then we'll plan on running a steel line. I mean, we have the steel yard here, but we'll plan on running a steel line. By that I mean rail line, like, and getting it to the point where we'd have a rail yard over here full of steel, so that this construction yard always had stuff. And I think the other good thing, just thinking about it now, let's close this, is that it's kind of a little bit central to our operation. Like, if we were going to build rails, you know, this is a pretty central location in general, you know, to get over there and build the rails and then get over there. You know, we could do it over there, but then it's not quite as central, and we'd still have to get gravel and prefab panels. So I think the first thing we might do is get this going, you know, get a construction yard, get the associated things it needs, and then build the panels over to the steel, which is going to be beneficial in general. And then we'll have to see about what we do with, like, yards like this, where, you know, they're delivered by truck, and I don't know how easy it would be to get a train in there. not without knocking these down and redoing it some. So we may end up with a whole different distribution system and get rid of all of this. So we'll see. So let me start doing a little bit of the layout without you guys, and I may even lay down some rails, but not too much. I don't want to do too much without you guys. I know a lot of people enjoy seeing the planning of all that stuff. So good. All right. Well, let me go check on my food thing and make sure those guys are up there building something towards our new farms. And I will see you guys in the next episode, I hope. Thanks for watching, and have a good day. Take care. Bye-bye.